with abandonment issues because his mother died when he was really young, and he was made okay. It's speculated that the demon in the bow could have been his mom, but there's evidence that says that it's not because the horns, the stripes in the horns, are a male's horns, and the tail too. So the mother's tail was a different shape than the demon cemented to the bottom. But it's speculated that she died somewhere else too. And anyways, so back to Moxie, right? So his ex Chaz, who later on had Moxie end up in prison, right, where they escaped with Blitz, which is a really symbolic moment between the two because he Blitz, he helps so much people, and he doesn't even realize it, guys. He doesn't even realize it, and he's like, I'm useless, I'm just a little imp at the bottom of the hierarchy in hell, and it's like, guys, no.
How do I open my game files?
Shut up, Juan. I'm trying to hear this.
I'm trying to get people to kill each other.
Juan, be quiet. I'm trying to hear this lore.
Keep going. So, okay, back to Moxie, even though I'll get to Blitz in due time, right? So his father.
You're still going? I left you at a knife read.
His father is extremely abusive towards him.
What do you expect from her?
What do you expect from a mafia boss, right? So it's like, anyways, so he grows up without a mother and with an extremely abusive father, right? And he has to depend on people like Chaz to kind of give him, fill the hole in his heart. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm talking about the boss. Hello. Anyways, dude, people keep on looking at him, just looking at me weirdly. So, anyways, I am in the kitchen. That's great. Anyways, so
you're doing this in the kitchen.
On. Yes, I'm speaking very loudly too, so my mom probably hear me. Anyways, back to Moxie. Later on, he met this woman, wonderful little imp girl named Millie, right? So he's gonna go on later to marry her, and in the current series, we see them at their 1-year anniversary and a little bit after that, right? Which is kind of weird. Anyway, sorry, spoilers. Anyways, so the lore of Millie, Moxie's wife, right? Which, by the way, Moxie and Millie, they were like, I just know you're clipping this right now. Anyways, Moxie and Millie, they met through Blitz, which is, again, it's like, Blitz, he does so much, and it's like, he ridicules himself all the time. He's like, I'm just a useless little imp at the bottom of the hell hierarchy, and it's like, no, you're literally so much more than that. He's just a little being.
Oh my god.
So, anyways, back to Millie, who is Moxie's wife. So she grew up relatively okay, I guess, as okay as a little imp family in hell at the bottom of the hell hierarchy can be. So she grew up in the Wrath Ring, which is like a kind of country, they're the farmers of the realm, basically. And so she grew up in a little country town, basically, I guess. It's very, very country. Her parents are farmers. They're bull riders. They kill demon bull. And yeah, so basically they're cowboys, and there's a bunch of evil cowboys like Striker. I can get into the backstory of Striker if you want. It's purely hypothetical though. Anyways, so she grew up, normal, except for she's trying to prove her worth around. She's trying to carry her weight because, she ended up in one of the backstories that we see in one of the newer episodes. God, I've never been allowed to talk this much about my special interest, guys. Thank you so much. Anyways, I'm really getting so hard right now. Anyways, she didn't have too much trauma compared to the other characters in the cast, especially Luna. We'll get into Luna's backstory later on. Oh my god, stop looking at me like that. I'm just talking about my special interest egg. Anyways, so since Millie grew up in this environment of cowboys and poor people and farmers, she's taught that she has to be tough, right? To pull her weight, to survive around this place. Because a lot of people die, and because they have so many imps, it doesn't matter if this one imp dies.
I see people do drugs.
Right. So then, yeah. So that happens. She doesn't really have much going on. It's actually a little bit problematic within the fandom that she doesn't have anything going on for herself. There's no episode that she calls her own. There's no background. We don't really know much about her. There is a few shorts where she goes out with her sister to New York or something. She goes out to the city, and it's yeah. And then anyway, she becomes pregnant. I don't know about you. Probably Moxie, it's theorized, but she's pregnant by the latest episode called Sinmas. But
should I kill your wife?
And anyway, moving on though, we'll get to who do I get to? Luna, Blitz, Raleigh, Asmodeus.
Damn, your son has a job.
Let me see. All right, Striker, Chaz. There's Chaz.
No, we can actually be done.
But I'm not done.
I added them on.
Or Stolas. I forgot all about Stolas. Actually, speaking of Stolas, he has a father named Paimon, by the way. And Paimon is kind of this renowned demon of hell. You know what I mean? And that correlates into in the Bible. But then that correlates to the show. And Paimon is actually a really high-ranking demon lord. Not demon lord because the demon lord is a different thing in Hazbin hell. But anyways, so Paimon, also an abusive father, right? And basically he isolates Stolas in his castle and to only learn about how to be a prince and stuff, right? So Stolas doesn't grow up with any friends, right? And then he grows up to marry some weird, girl. Her name is Stella, I think. Stella? Yeah, probably Stella. Anyways, she's this crazy abusive bitch, right? And basically, starting from the beginning, Stolas thought, since his father talked so highly about it, that princehood was a good thing, right? It's not a good thing though, because he has to marry Stella, who, by the way, I remind you, is a crazy bitch, right? So yeah. Anyways, God. Anyways, right. So the day he realized that princehood is not all that. It's not all that he thought it would be all that good. He finds out he's engaged by blood to Stella to produce an heir and whatnot. So yeah, and then his father's oh, stop crying and stuff like that, which is it resembles how his entire childhood was. Paimon was to Stolas hey, you can't be saying all this stuff, you can't be doing this, you can't be doing that, because he's a prince, right? But Stolas thought that was a good thing. Stolas thought that was normal, right? But when he grows up, life is miserable for him until he finds Blitz. Which we're moving on to Blitz now, right? So Blitz, he grew up, somewhere. He grew up somewhere. I think the Pride Ring. No, it was. No, it's another green one. Where did he grow up? It's not the Wrath Ring, because Pride is where the sinners are. Guys, where did Blitz grow up? It's not the same area as Millie, I think. Guys, I swear I know this. One second. Where did Blitzo grow up? Oh yeah, speaking of Blitzo, he was in like okay, yeah, but where? I know his father's circus, but where?
When is this not a joke anymore?
Where is he? Where is he going? Where'd he grow up? Okay, so he's from the Wrath.
It's gonna make a great video. Paranoid lunatic rants about Hazbin Hotel. We're at 9.5 minutes.
You should make that into informative speech.
Anyways, on to Blitz, whose old name used to be Blitzo, by the way, which is where we start. We start out as him being Blitzo, right? But now the O is silent, right? It has like a little cross out, and you can actually type that in your keyboard. So anyways, he starts out as Blitzo, and his father's birthday circus. And his father's name is Cash Buxo, right? So I think his full name is Blitzo Buxo, I guess. And it's just like he does so much for everyone, like especially like the people he grew up with, and like the people he met after prison. Like, okay, anyways, sorry. That was my I'm just so passionate about the show. You know what I mean? I'm so passionate. I know everything. I love the show. It saved me. It saved me back in my days. In 2022, I was in a really long time, and I watched this show, and it's like, gay people rock, man. Anyways, there's Blitzo, Cash Buxo. He grows up in a circus, very, very materialistic circus. He does not grow up in a good environment because people are like constantly selling him and stuff. Like literally because he's a clown, and he's like a really good clown. Which Swoon's baby Stolas. In one of the episodes, you see a flashback of baby Stolas, right? And he goes to it's actually the day he found out he was supposed to be it's implied to be the day he found out he was supposed to be like Princehood was like this terrible thing and he was supposed to marry Stella, right? He goes to the circus. Paimon takes him to the circus, not physically. He's talking through like a mirror, like in the mirror is being held by a little butler imp. Yeah, so he takes him to the circus. Are you yawning? Bro, this means so much to me and you're yawning. Bro.
I'm trying to figure out how to kill people.
Can
Anyways, yes?
Stop.
I'm literally almost done with the cast. Anyways, so God, you see, I have like severe ADHD and you just like pause my train of thought. Like I'm literally like I'm like back
train of thought.
right now, like,
Schizo, laser rolls, buzz rolls.
anyways, so where was I? Okay, right. So Stolas is at
Wait, where were you?
Yeah, baby Stolas is at the circus with his father, but his father isn't physically there, right? Near the butler, right? And since Blitz, technically Blitzo at this time is such a good person, he kind of like swoons baby Stolas. And if you didn't know this, owls they mate for life. So once they have a little person that they call their own, it's there forever. So you can never really truly love anywhere else, which is like it's so symbolic of like their love. Anyway, so Blitzo being like this incredibly good king, he grows up not being enough because guess what? Fizzarolli is there. Fizzarolli is like this peak clown, and he takes clownhood like very seriously, right? But Blitzo's only doing that to help his mother, who, by the way, dies in the fire he set off. You know what I mean? He only set it off because he was gonna confess to Fizzarolli. Think about it, just like that thinking. He was gonna confess to Fizzarolli, and it had like a little candle on the little cake, and he didn't give him a cake. Somebody was walking by through the tent with a lit candle cake, right? But then Blitzo saw that Fizzarolli was like having too much fun. He's like, you know what? He's probably gonna have an even worse time with me. And so he shoves the person with the well lit candle cake into the curtain, and everything sets on fire. Everything is gone. Just like that, his mother is gone, his best friend is gone, like his whole circus, his livelihood is gone. Bro, that's just one of the biggest traumas someone can go to. It's just I feel so bad for Blitz. Anyways, he's like my kitty, so like so after the fire, after like Fizzarolli's gone, Blitz is actually later revealed to like having visited Fizzarolli, like that whole time. Like he tried to visit Fizzarolli, but then Cash was like, no, you can't, dude, go away from the merchandise or something like that, right? There's a flashback in Ghostbusters, in the episode called Ghostbusters or something. I think it's called Ghostbusters, where it's revealed that one of Blitz's memories is Cash like being like, no, go away, you can't visit Fizzarolli. But the thing is, it was a misunderstanding, which we see in like, what episode was it? We see in one of the season 1 episodes. One second. We see in episode. Oh my god, what episode is it? What episode is it? It's in episode. Oh, okay. It's actually not in season 1. Sorry, it's in episode 2. Oh my god, season 2, episode 6. Called Oops, right? And that's where they kind of like first reunite. But I'm not there yet. So. Right, growing up, Blitz is never enough because there's a better clown, Fizzarolli, right? And Fizzarolli sells for more, right? Which Blitz like was sold to Paimon to be Stolas' friends for like a day for like not even $1, I'm pretty sure. And so Blitz like he's given the task to steal a bunch of shit from Stolas' house, which he does successfully, hopefully. And then that kind of just puts into cement like the relationship to the future, and it's so meaningful. And it's like, you guys rock, man. Anyways, so
you're still going? I left.
Anyways, so he grows up just in this terrible realm. Hell's terrible, right? And he meets Stolas again. They come into contact, and then he starts a business of killing people. It used to be killing people in hell, but now it's killing people in the human realm because Stolas he stole a book, a grimoire from Stolas in like the first few episodes, and anyways, where do you want to Stolas? Yeah. Oh yeah, Stolas has a kid, and that plays a really big role in Blitz's and Stolas' relationship. Right, and then okay, right. So Stolas has a kid, right? But then technically also does Blitz. He has a kid, Luna, an adopted kid, Luna, right? And technically it's not like a kid, but he likes to like define it as that because hellhounds are like the lowest breed. In the whole hierarchy. So technically he's his pet, but like he doesn't like that, and he wants a family. He wants to build a family because his whole family left him. So it's kind of like really symbolic that he goes through so much. Anyway, so Luna's backstory is that we don't really know much about her, but we know that she was a kid, and she probably grew up in the hound, and she was probably age out. What?
Knife. Knife.
What?
Oh my god. K as in Mr. K.
Yeah.
I.
K. I.
N.
N.
Wait, no. Knife.
Thank you.
Can I continue?
Continue.
I'm almost done. So
You said that like 8 minutes ago.
no, because these characters mean so much to me, and they have such a complex backstory that I relate to so much. Anyways, so Luna grew up in like the hell and stuff like that. We don't know much about him. That's okay because he's just the greatest writer ever. Basically she was about to age out. People theorize that when she ages out, they were gonna like euthanize her, which is like, thank God they did it. She's literally just a small being and has to be protected. Anyways, sorry. So yeah, Luna's highly aggressive because of the or not aggressive, but she's like, your typical like moody teenager. Because she grew up in such an environment, such as the hound, which they would like. It's just, I don't know. It's implied to be like really violent, like incredibly violent. Because like the guy was like the kid she was monkeys in roomies with had like a bat with nails in it. Anyways, moving on. Blitz adopted her, and she doesn't really have much going on. She's just kind of moody. She also like a human disguise and like an ultra wolf disguise. It's not a disguise, but like a form. So yeah.
Can we rewind where you said she's a small being and needs to be protected?
Yeah, they're all small beings and they have to be
I'm gonna
protected.
fucking stab you so hard.
Anyways, I have one more character to get to, which is Fizzarolli, right? So he grew up in the same clown show that Blitz did, and he was a better clown. He took clowning seriously. So it's later revealed. Sorry, muted. I can't talk over all that rumbling. Anyways, so he took clowning seriously, and he later on became a clown after the fire. But before the fire, there's like a whole like little saga of like 2 or 3 episodes. Saying how like he went to one of Mammon's show, which was just basically like an entire ad for like, oh hey, I need more money, right? Somebody can be my money son and whatnot. So he went there and he's like, I really want to be Mammon's money son. And Blitz is like, oh no, don't do that, right? He was there for Fizzarolli, which is like, he's there for everybody in his own way, and it's just a small being and has to be protected. Anyways, so Fizzarolli after the fire, which he thinks that Blitz just never went to visit him, and he just burned everything down and left. Because Blitz technically left him to find help, but then just like everything like left or something. So Blitz wanted to find during the fire. There's a flashback. Blitz wanted to find help for Fizzarolli. He was actively burning and he was gonna die, but then he didn't. He didn't burn out. Thank God, because like then I wouldn't be able to kill him. Anyways, so Fizzarolli big clown spot, and then he finds Ozzy, which it's theorized that Ozzy kind of like brought him or something. It's not said entirely how. Osmodeus, by the way.
Brian, she muted me because I was opening a bag of chips.
No, I just took you down. Anyways, so Ozzy is the sin of lust. He's Osmodeus, but for sure Ozzy. And it's actually kind of weird that Osmodeus calls Fizzarolli Froggy.
25 minutes, by the way.
Like, oh my god, because fire tone is like kind of a slur. Anyways, so yeah, he falls in love with the sin of lust, which is also kind of weird, but I mean, we can't really blame them because, Stolas is like a very high ranking guy, and Blitz fell in love with Stolas. And vice versa, and same thing with Ozzy and Fizzarolli. So yeah, I think that's pretty much Fizzarolli's lore. I think he grew up, fire, and then stuff like that. Anyways, on to our next character.
I wanna go shower!
I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm dead. That's probably the big cast. Hopefully.
Can you say this is Isla signing off?
No, I'm not gonna say that.